It seems the DUP have probably done better than some of those recent polls were suggesting, but we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that this looks like it will be an historic result.
I totally agree with you. It looks as if Sinn Fein are going to become the largest party, but not by 30 seats, or not at 30 seats to 25 or whatever. Those polls are definitely proven to be slightly wrong. But we did, when we did our constituency reports, we looked at the likes of Strangford, North Belfast, Fermanagh, South Tyrone, and that's because in those three places there is a great mix of Northern Irish culture and the breakdown of how society works. Strangford, it is now looking like Peter Weir, the former education minister, is under real pressure there. He's a DUP MLA. If he loses that seat, Sinn Fein will not take the seat because Sinn Fein have no real vote in there. But it is a loss for the DUP, and considering the last time through they were in 28 seats, the Sinn Fein was on 27. But that may go to the Alliance Party. North Belfast, it looks as you were, two Sinn Fein coming back there, two DUP. But the last seat, the sitting Minister for Infrastructure, Nicola Mallon, under pressure from Nuala McAllister of the Alliance Party. So the Alliance are grabbing these seats as they go forward, and they're the seats without the mandate. And we can only really tell what's happening through the tallies that are coming out of these boxes. And I can tell you, I have looked at election voting for many, many years, 25 years, and some of the voting patterns that's going in there at the moment are extraordinary. But the DUP are suffering really at the hands of the TUV. They are taking those seats off them by getting huge amounts of numbers for Jim Allister's party. This is a party that only had one MLA. He is looking really for 8 MLAs in order to go into opposition, because that's where you can do that. I don't think he will achieve that. He may get 5 back, but I don't think it will be 8. And that will cost the DUP probably 4 seats in total when you take what Sinn Féin may lose out there also, because the SDLP, although they're losing in areas like North Belfast, seem to be holding strong in other areas. West Tyrone's one to watch there. I think either the SDLP or the Alliance Party may take that last seat of Sinn Féin there too. So we're expecting results here within the next hour, the first to be called. I would assume that'll either be Jerry Kelly out of Sinn Féin in North Belfast, or Michelle McElveen or Kelly Armstrong out of the Alliance Party into Strangford.
Dougie, it's Liam Halligan here. I take my life into my hands discussing Northern Ireland politics with you, with Darren McCaffrey, both proudly hailing from Northern Ireland, as you are, of course. But you mentioned the TUV there. Can I ask, on behalf of people from elsewhere across the UK, just tell us a little bit more about this party, traditional unionist values. Tell us a little bit more about Jim Allister, the leader, and how he's really come to prominence in recent months, and the link between the rise of the TUV, the Northern Ireland Protocol and Brexit.
Well, Jim Allister was an MEP for the DUP. He was a Paisleyite, a very staunch on the right wing of the DUP. Now, he broke away from the DUP. He didn't agree with certain things that happened with him, and for the last 2 terms he's been sitting as a single member of the traditional unionist voice. Very clever man. He is a barrister, and he knows his way round European law. Now, the protocol, he is one of those that has taken the government to court over the protocol and the breaching of Article 6 of the Act of the Union. And he has had protests after protests, starting in Northern Ireland in small towns, and they are growing. There's no doubt about it, they are growing. It is a fact that no matter what happens in these elections, the executive will not sit as long as the protocol is still in place. It has to be addressed because the Good Friday Agreement says it of consent, and it has to be across nationalist and unionist communities. And of course that's not happening. Now, Jim has managed to grow this party. He's grown it very well, but I don't see where he's going with it after it gets in. Is it a protest vote? It probably is. I don't know much else of Jim's policies on economy or education or health, but then in Northern Ireland, Nobody ever did. Enoch Powell famously said you could put a Union Jack on a donkey and get it elected here, or a tricolour. So we are now starting to see real politics happen in Northern Ireland. Those that are under 40 years of age, never remembered the troubles in Northern Ireland, are now starting to vote, and they're voting for that middle ground. They don't remember all the bad stuff that happened here, and they seem to want to change. That's back to 2003, when the Ulster Unionists and the SDLP both lost power at the same time to Sinn Fein and the DUP. So
okay.
The TUV has pretty much stole the clothes of the DUP in 2003.